Super. I don't. You know what? I don't usually do anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. I made a poker table. Did I show you? I don't have it. I got it on my phone, but I made a poker table a couple of years ago. I'm using it. I'm using it on Sunday. So
Well, that sounds fun.
This Sunday, is it?
yeah, so yeah, it's supposed to be it's usually the first Sunday of the month, but for some reason it's not. Because it would have been last Sunday, right? Or the previous
Yeah.
Sunday.
So who's playing?
It's the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Okay.
My Dolphins didn't make it through, so I'm a little disappointed.
I mean, I'll go with the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, in Kansas. Mahomes a good quarterback. He's going to be hard to beat, I think, but we'll see. But I'm sick of seeing like the same teams in the Super Bowl, man. We got to get a new one in there. Brady's done, eh? He's retired. He's gone. But
Yeah, I mean, I feel ignorant. I don't really ever even see the sport. I just sort of know it goes on, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to just go to my friend's house. We had a Super Bowl event, and like I'm not too crazy about the game. I just enjoyed the company.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. I cook chili. I have rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
Got the poker table, and the game's just in the background, right?
Yeah. That's the part I love about it.
Yeah.
No excuse to have a beer, really.
I told you guys I'm taking the old lady to a Raptors game on Valentine's Day. Did I tell you that last time?
Romantic. Okay, nice. Is she a Raptors fan?
She will be. No, she's her dad's a big Raptors fan, and I got free tickets. I'm getting lucky with these free tickets, guys. So I'm taking her out for dinner at some pasta place. I forget what it's called, Ara or Arza or something crazy. And the good thing is, she doesn't know. You know what I tell her? I told her that my brother's taking us to Mississauga for a dinner. And obviously I'm just going to drive straight to Toronto. I had to buy her a Raptors shirt because she doesn't have one. So I'm going to bring that in the car.
Nice.
But she's going to know it step by step. I'll just be like, yeah, we're just here for dinner. And then I'll just throw her the Raptors shirt. I'll be like, yeah, I got Raptors tickets. The thing is, I am not spending money to stay the night down there. They're asking like $400 per night on Valentine's Day, the cheapest, like within reason from from the Scotiabank Arena. Like, I don't want to take an Uber halfway across Toronto. You know what I mean? So, but no, it's $400. And for the Continental, which is, you don't even have to go outside to go to the Continental. You just go, there's like an underground tunnel that brings you to the hotel. $575 a night.
Oh my!
You kidding me? I don't care how rich you are, man. I don't even do it. You're just getting, I don't know, money grab. Like, just double that. You can go on a week's vacation.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah.
Got it.
All right. Sorry there, Bart. You can fire off whenever you're ready.
No worries. Okay, well, I'll let our leader lead us. And
wild edibles. Well, yeah, no, we'll say. Okay, so yeah, moving into that next part. Yeah, after that fantastic.
Are we recording? Sorry, are we recording or?
I think I'm recording. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it's got a little light there going on.
I see it perfect.
Yeah, and yeah, moving from that anatomy of the cannabis bar. Thank you, Bill, for that. Yeah, very informative. As always, honestly, mate, you are you're destined for the lecture scene. I think, you know what I mean. See you and Jordan Peterson, you know what I mean, back to back at the universities.
A couple tongue twister words, but yeah, I'll get her down pat.
But yeah, and moving on, yeah, I guess I'm going into what's been very informative over the last couple of weeks. Chats with Bart about wild edibles, and so what have you got for us this week to talk about, Bart?
All right, this one is an interesting one. So take a look at this giant one. Oh my goodness! All right, so this is a date palm. So one of the problems with the last few is like, damn it, Bart, I have to go with an arboretum. Where do I get these seeds? Well, this one is something we all could do. So it's really exciting. So what I have here is a date palm. And so where did this come from? It came from a fruit. I don't know if anyone hasn't heard before. Here, let me put this down for a sec. So dates. Does anyone know what dates are? Here is.
Oh, they're horrible. Tastes like crap. I remember those.
Yeah,
Yep.
what is it? A
They're
dried
really healthy, really healthy.
date is a dried fig or a dried prune, or is a prune a dried fig? No, prune's a dried grape.
I think it's some sort of fruit. So it comes from the date plant, and it's interesting. Okay, it's interesting because what's different about this plant compared to the other ones is it's from the desert. All right. So I mean, all right, but let's take it back one sec. Like, why would you want to grow this? Why would you care? I mean, what's the motivating factor, right? I mean, we're all talking about cannabis. Why would we even care about something like this? So I think I'd like to start by saying that you can grow stuff for edibles, but if we can step back and look at it from like the meta, eating is not the only thing you could do, right? The other thing you could do is use it for other things, like you can have it around your house, right? You can grow it for industrial purposes, like, you know, you want to have a bunch of trees and you could put it for timberwood, right? You can grow it for other creatures, like you don't plan to eat the fruit, but you'll give it to, you'll have it in your backyard, and then like the you know, the wildlife eats it, right? So these are good examples of other things, other reasons of why we want to grow something. So I sort of want to begin this topic of why would you want to grow a date? It's because, like, because it's a desert plant, if you are, you know, from the iGrow community, if you're living near the Mediterranean, what's it called? The center of the earth, what's it called?
The equator.
Equator.
There it is.
Yeah, my bad. The equator, right? Okay, if you're living in the equator, if you're living in the Middle East, if you're living in a tropical country, right? If you're living even in like near deserts, then these are the kind of plants you're gonna have success growing. However, if you're gonna live in like us here in temperate climates with like a winter, it's not gonna live, it's gonna die. So if you want to be motivated to grow this, it's going to be for indoors. So, however, if you are living in those countries, this is a great thing to grow in your backyard, right? So let me say, so why would you want to grow it? Like I said that it looks nice. Well, let me kind of show you more of how it kind of looks like. So it's in nature, it grows like in arid climates. And this is kind of how a date tree looks like in its multi-year, like multi-decade growth, right? So it has a male and a female, if I'm not mistaken, and this is the female tree, and this is the fruit that's hanging off it. Okay, so that's kind of how it looks like. And so in like arid countries, you kind of grew them like in orchards, and they grow quite well, and you pretty much are looking for growing the female, and you only use the male kind of just to help bootstrap the pollination and the fruit growing process. So that's kind of how it looks like. So let's see, I'm going to close this, and here's just kind of some pictures of how it looks like in its natural habitat. So yes, if you live there, great to grow, right? So pretty cool. Now, if you want to grow it for your house, it's a beautiful indoor plant. Take a look. It's beautiful. You grow it, and well, that's what I'll be talking about. And just like an avocado tree, it looks nice in your house. You know, like I'm just gonna scroll through these just to help get your creativity process going as you just imagine this inside your house. It can, you know, like nice in the corner. It likes sunlight, right? You could take it outside for the summers, bring it back indoors during the winter time, and yeah, it looks beautiful, right? And you can grow it indoors as well.
Oh God, sorry, I was just going to say, like, you know, when I go to like when we were in Florida recently, they had lots of like palms. They look like that. Like lining the roads and all that sort of stuff. Would that then be a date palm?
Yeah, they are beautiful, and I believe they're used like for ornamental reasons too. Now, why would that be? I mean, besides, you know, beauty subjective, right? But there's also like sort of a practical reason. This kind of gets into the next topic, and that is, well, it comes from fruits, right? So could you grow it for fruits? And this is kind of where, you know, it doesn't shine. So let me show you. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this. So this is how the fruits look like. And there's actually a couple of varieties, but let's just step back for a sec and just understand how they kind of work. There's a male and female. Okay, the date, when you eat it, it has the following. If you can see that, or actually maybe I'll stop this. Okay, so when you finish eating the fruit, it returns a pit like this. And so if you want to grow it, it's very easy. You just put this in the ground and that's it. So all you got to do is go to a store, buy your favorite dates, extract the pit, put it in the ground, and then you can get this thing. So this is between 6 to 1 year. I didn't track the exact, but between 6 to 1 year's growth. I mean, I just put in the ground, like, let's say 6 months ago, and take a look. 1, 2. So like 2 papers already in size. So it's already on its way to start looking beautiful, to have just around the house and to give to friends, the family, community. So this is something that you could grow as well. And as a plant that loves hot temperatures, that loves lots of sun, this will be a good side plant to grow with your cannabis. Okay.
So, a quick question there, Bart.
Yep.
So is that like a type of plant you can just put near the window?
Yep.
Okay, so it doesn't really need a light cycle. You can just throw it near the window and it'll grow on its own, just as long as you keep watering it.
Yep. And
Okay.
here's another, if I want to sell it, it's phenomenal for watering, because as a arid, like, as a desert sort of plant, you don't have to water it that much. And the ones that I'm growing, I think almost a month I didn't water, right? Just for whatever reasons. And they're just still growing. They're still growing good. If they dried up at the tips, you just got to water, and then another sort of shoot comes out, and it sort of comes back with a vengeance. So it is a plant that you could put, and you can be gone from your house for almost a month, and this thing's going to be fine as long as you water a lot of it beforehand. So for that reason, that's another awesome part about this plant. I don't know why it's not so popular indoors. It really is hardy. You can go on vacation, and it's just going to survive, right? As long as you give it light. So
Bart,
Yep.
sorry again. So a good way to jumpstart it, like, say you have it indoors during the winter months, should you put it outdoors during the summer months?
If you want it to grow a lot, right? So if you want it to grow really big, and you have plans to,
Oh, there it is. Yep.
right, you can grow really big. If you have plans for something like that, then yeah, you can do it.
Jesus, that's big.
That looks great. In that corner with the windows on both sides. That one, yeah, that one must, I imagine that does great there.
Yeah, see, like right in the corner, you can put it on something like this. So once it's inside of a pot, it's not going to go too crazy, like, with its growth, right? I mean, sure, its natural life cycle is to be like this crazy looking thing, but it only accomplishes that if it has enough root space, because it's self-contained in like a pot. You're pretty much just gonna have at most something like this, right? Where it starts kind of looking like this. So it's, again, super easy. You can go to a store, have some dates, take the pit out, and you can be having just this wonderful plant in your house, where it'll like filter your air, right? It'll give it some nice green look during the different seasons. Here's a pretty nice view of how it'll grow. This is pretty much how it'll look like. And eventually it'll morph from this looking shaggy bush to kind of like a palm tree, right? So you could see this looks good inside office buildings. This could be like in your room right now. I think it's awesome. I think it's exciting that, if you have a little bit of room with your cannabis, you can just fit this little date, and you got this beautiful looking plant you can have around your house, or you can even give to friends and family. So that's this is how I would sell in iGrow community to grow some dates. Now, if anybody's kind of interested about the fruit, that one's kind of interesting, because this has a male or a female, right? And this is kind of how big. So it will, like, if you get, so let's just talk about the fruit. How the fruit works is it works like somewhat like an apple, where it's not true to seed. What does that mean? That means that when you take an apple seed, put it in the ground, it grows, and then like 10 years or whatever, you get apples. They're not going to taste great, right? Because they're not from the original parent. So when you hear like Granny Smith, Cosmic Apple, Honeycrisp, you know, those are a special variety of apples that grow from this one tree that happen to have them, and then farmers clone that one tree. So now we have like the army of clones, where you got a whole orchard filled of the same tree, the same genetics, and that same genetics produces that variety. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Any questions?
Yeah, no, just really where you were going with that, I guess you're going to go to it. But so when you say true to seed, so that then the seed from that apple wouldn't grow that genetic then, is what you're saying?
That's correct.
Wow.
Because it has variation from the male, right? The male and the female both it produces like a variation. So the taste of the fruit is part of that variation that causes the different one, all right?
Okay, so that would basically change, the apple would change in the pollination process. Then I guess it's no longer the same thing. That's why the
Yes.
seed's different inside. Okay.
So so you're probably, well, wait a minute, Bart, but what about orchards with all female? How does that work? Well, the only in that instance, that orchard of date trees is basically they're all clones of one variety, right? And here's a kind of a picture of different. I'm just going to click this link randomly. So basically, dates, there's just a handful of varieties. I know one of you guys said they taste bad, though that's actually okay, because there's multiple varieties, and then that's it. So let's kind of look at the numbers. If you want to grow like the next amazing variety, look at the numbers. You have to plant, and there's a 50 chance it's either going to be a male or female. Okay, so already, if it's a male, you don't got the fruit, right? If you got the female, let's take a look at the numbers. It takes around 5 years to get fruit, like a tree to fruit, right? To get something like something that produces. Now, after waiting 5 years and you take a bite out of it, there's going to be like 90% of chance it's going to taste awful or just unedible. It's going to just take, right? So that's bad. And the almost 10 to 9% chance where it's going to taste average, right? It's just going to taste average. And then there's that 1% chance where it's going to taste absolutely phenomenal. It's its own like unique variety that's just so unique that that's like people are going to love it. So that's how difficult it is to get a date variety. And so there's not actually that many, just like apples, there's not that many varieties out there that like to choose from. There's just kind of a few. The ones, for example, I could think off the top of my head are Black Sphinx and Majul. Those are the kind of, there's also Deedlitz that I think I said, forgive me, I apologize if I said it wrong. So that's the only ones that could come to mind. But you know, the list doesn't kind of get all that from there. And each variety kind of has its own, as you can see, the color, texture of the fruit, whether it's more kind of dry or more kind of like, what do you want to call it? More sugary, you know, like each sort of variety kind of has, right? And here's kind of just the most popular ones I know. Like, so if you tried one that probably tastes bad, there's just a chance you might have just tried that one particular variety. There's other ones to choose from. Now,
meaty.
yeah. Because it's so hard to get a unique variety that people are willing to eat, right? So I'm sure if you kind of do some research on these varieties, each one has their own story in the respected lands and cultures that they come from, where like people treasured them, you know, they made every effort to save them, to pass them on, you know, as kingdoms get conquered, you know, some would like burn them down, some would have to hide. Like there's all sorts of stories. So that's kind of interesting. It's part of our human history. Like because dates grow in desert-like climates, what happens is, and they come from, you know, the Middle East and you know, desert-like countries. People that immigrated to the North American continent some 100 years back, what happens is they just wanted to, they don't, you know, dates don't grow there, they want to bring them. So there's like stories of like, you know, all this effort they've done to bring just a little cutting, bring this, and then they've managed to successfully sprout and then have their favorite dates, you know, the clone inside North America, and then other people take a clone copy, and then that sort of variety gets established. So each one of these have their own interesting story, just because how difficult they are, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it really is. So you could essentially almost, I don't know, if you had a decent plant and got yourself a female, and I don't know, there'd be a chance you could almost grow your own edible type of date, because it would be like kind of like almost like a lottery kind of
Yes,
thing, really. Yeah.
that's a best way to look at it. If you take a date, right, you eat it, and then you put it in the ground, you're playing with the lottery. But it's cool. I mean, and so here's an example. There's this one farm somewhere in Arizona, story I heard, where they basically took 50 pounds of dates, like seeds, not even like dates, like seeds. Like they somehow they got access to just bags and bags of just these heavy seeds, and they just put it everywhere. And they waited around 8 years, and they only probably got like one unique, distinct variety, which is now claimed like, you know, North American sort of date variety. So they won that lottery. But think how much effort that has to be done just to get it.
Well,
And now, how do you clone it?
Exclusive date variety. I don't know. You know, again, it's like lottery. Like you say, the lottery. You know, it could then be potentially, yeah, one of the better ones. I guess if it's, you know, this desert environments in North America, so you know, it would make sense that you could, yeah, like reproduce the crop somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, you
Right?
said
Like,
if you can clone it, like all you need is that 50% and start cloning, no?
that's right. So how do you clone it? So again, because I don't want to make any farms. I haven't done too much research, but so there's something called date pup. Okay. So let me spell it again. So what you do is, when you find the mother tree that's just amazing, that has the particular variety, so what you do is you take like the sides of it, and then you just like clone it, and then that sort of, I think, pups. So that, I mean, that's the colloquial name that I heard, but basically it's a direct clone of the mother, right? So what you do is you just cut it, you plant it, and now, as you can see, you got yourself the clone of that lottery winning ticket. So pretty cool, right? That's how you propagate that $1 million winning prize.
Yeah. It's basically,
And
it
now,
looks like a coconut tree. Like I'd walk by it and I'd think it's a coconut tree.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly, because it comes from that area. Its sort of challenge is not how to deal with like winter. It's more like, how do you deal with the lack of water, right? So this kind of art, like the leaves are actually designed well to kind of like you know, don't lose too much water to like the heavy desert atmosphere and the hot temperature, right? So that's kind of like coconuts and sort of this kind of arid sort of species of plants and trees have, right? So just to tie it back way, because James, you asked the question why it's ornamental. Well, because if you try to play the lottery and you don't win, you still have kind of a nice looking tree, right?
Yeah.
So you can just pretty much grow these on the side, and they just have nice trees that take, you know, they soak up the sun. So the people that walk by, they have a little bit more shade. It looks nice, it looks green. So it's not necessarily kind of a loss just to grow those, right? And this is kind of how like a massive mother tree would look like. So I mean, that's really all it. I don't really want to sell you too much on the health benefits, because it's not accessible to us, right? It's only accessible to people who are able to live in arid countries and can grow it. So awesome, exciting for anyone watching from there. Go ahead and grow them. Tell us down in the comments how it's going. It's really exciting. Now, for the people living here in these cold climates, if I want to convince you guys to grow more plants, I think this will be a nice indoor plant for us. So here's kind of just some health benefits. There's a lot. It surprises me. So like one of the ones that surprised me the most out of the health benefits is it actually helps your teeth. Now, how contradictory is that? Where you think you're eating some sugary snack, and it actually, you know, you think it hurts your teeth, but in fact, it actually helps it. So that's one of the cool properties of like the dates. So it does like a bunch of positive things.
I guess, you know, what I haven't got, like, I wonder what's a bag of dates cost at the shop, you know what I mean? Again, it's kind of like a fruit you can get, sort of bag of dates. I mean, I'm sure we've had them knocking around.
Oh yeah,
there might be a bag upstairs in the cupboard.
My dad buys them every week because he's he's getting older. He's 71 years old, and he's all about health. He drinks smoothies every day. So he doesn't like the taste of them. He puts them in a smoothie.
Oh,
That's what
that's
he's
a
been
good
doing.
idea.
So no, it's yeah. He keeps telling me to eat them and stuff, and I ate one. I'm just like, ugh, right?
Well,
I
you
don't know.
might have
The taste the
A
taste
little
just
bit
isn't for
like,
me. But
now the thing is, it's got quite a bit of good benefits. So I got to tell you, like, give a few more a try, because I've actually tried this one. I don't want to say the name to offend like the manufacturer, but there's this one I tried. I didn't like it, right? I tried other ones. They're super delicious. There's probably enough varieties for you to choose from for the ones you like, right? They come in different colors, sizes, and like texture. So it is healthy. Give it another try. Give it another try.
I got to start with the smoothies.
yeah, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've had like sort of date jams and date chutneys and things like that before as like compliments to meats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Date jams. Is it date jam or date chutney? I don't know. I've just definitely kind of ringing bells of like eating dates.
Mm-hmm.
But just not kind of like in recent times.
I think it's just so fascinating that given this harsh climate of how difficult it is to survive without water, that this tree evolved to create this kind of fruit to encompass its own offspring, like the seed to replicate. And so given the difficult situation of lack of water, it has to take a bunch of minerals and elements out of the ground, put it in a certain format that, keeps it living through the hot of the desert. And, just by the luck of the variety, that one combination of cells makes this fruit just taste great and super healthy. So for the people living, for iGrow community growing, near the equator, thanks there, right, or living in tropical countries, definitely take a look at seeing if you can get yourself a cutting of like a good variety, and see if you can grow it for your community, right? And who knows, we might just be eating it, because I'm encouraging people to eat dates here on this for the North American audience.
Yeah, damn right. I mean, it seems to be, at the moment, it seems to be everyone's rushing to force insects into our diet. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, why, let's take a step back and just like, have we completely forgotten about fruits and vegetables? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, as they insert locust powder into the goddamn cereal, you know what I mean?
You got it.
I think they just made a lot of that legal. But yeah, you're funny, like you say, when you just literally say community, like I say, if you had date trees around, if you're in a hot climate, but even, just for the ornamental sake of plant, I do quite like that, the date palm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because, growing plants, again, not just for the edibles, I think that's the best way. Like if you want to start, if you're here, growing cannabis and you want to think about something else, I think something that's edible is the best way, because it's right from the ground into your mouth, into your taste buds, into your body, into the well-being, your health, right? And that's kind of a good way to get motivated. Like if I want to sell it, it's like direct positive feedback.
Yeah.
Plant, eat, live well, right? So I think growing an edible is great. Now, if you're kind of past that point and you're looking for, or you can't because you live in an apartment or something, you have an opportunity to grow this beautiful and be part of this community and just kind of grow this. I mean, I love it. It's so tough. Inside, like I know I'm already saying what I said earlier, but it really doesn't take much water. It's good at taking I wouldn't say punishment, but let's say mistakes, like you forget the water, and it looks nice. Like I really love it. I can't wait to take it out of the basement, put it around the house, give it out to some people. I mean, you guys could be too. And this is just 6 months. So for people who have the mindset of, oh, it takes a long time to grow, 6 months from now, you could have something that's, what's it called? Two paper sizes. So like,
yeah, totally. So that seems like a really good plant, kind of like the avocados, just something to like say an apartment, even the smallest situation, you don't need tents and things for that. Like I say, a sunny windowsill is enough to do things like that. So avocados, date palms, and just to simply connect with another life force and just have it grow, be a little companion in your kitchen.
I wonder if I can.
It does look nice. Like I was coming out really clearly. I do, and you know what? It looks like a frigging baby palm tree. It's great up close. Like those leaves are really tropical looking,
Yeah, so exactly. So when if you want to like kind of wonder what the texture is of it, it really feels pretty strong. Like, so I'm grabbing it right here. It's strong. It's not like, it feels stronger than like, let's say you grab a maple, like a maple leaf, right? So it kind of goes like this. How it starts out when you grow it, it just has this one shoot, right? And even the funny part is, even if you accidentally kill it, like you don't water it, it'll actually start sending a second shoot. So as long as you water it frequently after, like it's okay. It can take the punishment of your mistake, right? So it'll just kind of grow up. And so first it's going to be this large leaf. Notice this one's really large. And then after it's like stable and it's kind of healthy, then it starts sending these ones at the center more outwards. So when you're at this point, you really are like golden. Like you can pretty much have the main one kind of die and it's no problem. And what's also kind of nice about this is, unlike, like let's say you grow like an oak tree, or like let's say rowan and ginkgo, if there's like a center branch, if it dies, then it kind of looks ugly because now there's like two branches. Well, dates for a while are just gonna look like a bush, right? So even if like you accidentally like let a few die, it's still gonna look beautiful once it kind of recovers. And after a certain point, then it'll start having kind of like the tree trunk growing. So you have lots of opportunity to correct and make mistakes, right? So it'll allow it. I think it's a great plant to get started. Like it's really simple. It's accessible right now. Even though grows great in the desert, it can grow great in your apartment, right? In the dead of winter.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome, Bart. Another fantastic chat. Wild edible. Well, now again, in that one, it is a wild edible. Yeah, if you're in the equatorial parts of the world. But yeah, a very fun plant to have around the house. I think that's going in. Yeah, go alongside the goji and the freaking date palm. Great companion plants. Or yeah, already if you've already got a cannabis tent grow operation going. I don't know, maybe a small corner you've got spare. Yeah,
that's exactly it, James. Because take a look. These plants, it's what do you want to call it? Bill, you said it great. Solar panel. Its solar panel is literally like a leaf right here. So this actually works quite nice in the corner because it's already like, because light travels to that far corner, and the way it's structured, it's just like this leaf that just takes in the light. So this will be good on the side, right? Again, if I to sell, on my portion here, it's just, this is a good long-term investment. Like you grow cannabis for the immediate benefits. This could be on the side, and it'll just be there to benefit you.
Well, that's right. I see. Quite like the idea of having, because that's sort of what I aim to be doing with that pineapple. I started really because I knew there would be cannabis plants in and out of that tent over the period, and then having something in there that's like, like a solid resident. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Just keeps.
So I hope I sold you guys on it.
System going. You know what I mean? I do. You every week you sell me on these things. You know what I mean? I like come springtime when this snow, although the meltdown is happening, huge chunks of snow falling off my roof onto my drive as we speak. But yeah, that's like I've definitely been inspired to get a lot more stuff. I've got quite a lot of space, out and around in my outdoor bit, and really, now I've got my small tent, starting things for the house. I really want more plants around my house. Large corners. I haven't got much in the way of like walls and things. It's quite an open plan house, so yeah. Bigger plants in corners and stuff. I sort of the way I sort of see it. Do you know what I mean? It's like the future of my house is like, I don't know, see a lot of cool ones on Instagrams when they've literally jungled their house. And I kind of like that, at least one room, I would love to just have it, almost be junglish, ivy going up the wall, again, date palm in the corner, something like that.
Yeah, so one thing to consider is plants in your house, they need carbon dioxide, which is what we breathe, right? So they just add to like the well-being of your house, right? They are just little friends out there on the side that are taking the air that you breathe. Now, I'm not saying like all of it. It's just a little bit that they take in, and they give out like more cleaner air after. So that's a pretty big thing. And like, now I haven't done research on this, but I've seen pictures of people take that concept to the next level and put it near like machinery. So like air is pumping into like a bunch of plants, and then the plants are just taking in the carbon dioxide that that was filtered out from the building, going through. It adds to life support, and then the sort of whatever got processed clean air kind of goes out back into the building. So there's even some engineers attempting ideas like that too, right?
Sort of like a sort of architectural plant filtery type thing going on there. Okay, that's clever.
Yeah, so that I mean, that's interesting to look at. Again, I'm just throwing you and you can go and follow the rabbit hole there. So that's why I hope you guys
totally inspiration, absolutely inspiration, amazing stuff. I think I just had one more thing before we sort of say our farewells, because actually, you know, for cannabis and all sorts of plants and stuff, very interesting stuff at the moment. I was looking at even just a simple, I'm pretty sure we've got Netflix subscriptions, right, guys? Everyone got a Netflix?
Yes, sir.
Because there is some really cool programs on there, actually, as far as just, you know, certainly for like the beginner cannabis person. This one here, Weed the People. Very interesting stuff. This one kind of like hones in a little bit more directly on some of the medical effects and real people's real stories. And, you know, some of the stuff in there is really heart-wrenching, because cannabis medicine does wonders for children more than anything, it seems. Like there's great benefits for like sort of quality of life as you get older, but sort of like some of these like early stage epilepsies and things like that, some of these cannabinoids are just literally doing wonders for people. And kind of what you can see in that program, I have had a look at a couple of episodes, is it's kind of mind-blowing, some of it. And yeah, really just, it's very much an I Grow Good program, this one, because it's kind of a lot about how, you know, the interaction with growing this plant and people, really, and like this sort of relationship there. So yeah, really nice viewing there. Slightly more funner angle on cannabis as far as its kind of use. This one is The Grass is Greener, which is more of a musical documentary. Snoop Dogg and lots of jazz musicians and stuff like that, and really talking about how their cannabis consumption was really a lot to do with their creativity and the jazz and the blues that were coming out of that. And really how it is still a big inspiration for lots of musicians and stuff. Very cool little documentary, that one, only an hour and a half, but yeah, loads of cool people, like I say, Snoop Dogg, all these kind of guys, jazz people in there, and really, yeah, talking about the effects on their creativity. Just another one, this one, again, just to sort of come away from those are a bit more real, just to show you how cannabis culture is sort of bleeding into sort of real life here, and things like dispensaries, recreational cannabis shops. This is actually like a sitcom called Disjointed, about a kind of humorous shop, you know, almost like Friends or something like that. Basically, I've watched again 1 or 2 episodes of this. It is rather good. If you're into cannabis culture, or not really, it's a great way to it's almost like trying cannabis without having to try it, because there's some really good humorous points on first time users, long time users. And I think the people of this program have hit a lot of real nails on the head about how kind of, yeah, there's stigma with some things. It's helping out, you know, you've got Kathy, is it not Kathy Bates? It's Kathy Bates, yeah. She's from Misery, do you know what I mean? The scary Misery film. She's like the main woman in that program. She's kind of got the kind of more hippie-ish attitude to it because she's a little bit older. And then you've got the kind of younger generation, and then kind of, you know, people kind of using it for more kind of PTSD. It does touch on some real stuff, but yeah, cannabis sitcom basically already kind of available. And then yeah, the final sort of genre to tick is this one here, Cooked with Cannabis, which is a rather cool, if you've seen any cooking show these days, they're always competitive. People are cooking against each other, against the clock for the, you know, to present dishes to judges, which would then score them, you know, they get through to the final, blah, 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 you crown a winner. All of those classic cooking program notes being hit here in Cooked with Cannabis, except they're using CBD, THC infusions, oils, different techniques to like put into the food to then serve these people. And a lot of celebs. You've got Nana Cherry actually is the host of that, but yeah, it was Michael Rappaport, and again another sort of cannabis people, you know, cannabis culture people. coming in, having a look, being guest judges, and things like that on that. But yeah, good program. Even as far as they've got a blimmin' holiday special, you know what I mean, like the Christmas recipes. Yeah, they've got it all right down. Yeah, comfort food, high cuisine. I can do cannabis. They've got global stuff. Even as with every bloody cooking show, there's a backyard barbecue smoky episode as well. So yeah, just literally on Netflix. There's tons of other documentary, obviously other streaming services, but even just on Netflix, you can start to branch out. If you look here as well, you guys can see my screen, can't you? I'm just me going through this. Other things like a great, fantastic fungi. Another incredible documentary about mushrooms. And then just, you know, it sort of leads you really, once you go into those cannabises, really, yeah, you start to get into that how change your mind, and really does open up what kind of like, yeah, psychedelics, cannabinoids and things like that, you know, how they interact with, you know, a human body. These endocannabinoid systems exist when the receptors for, you know, the DMT, they dig out the bloody jungle, you know what I mean? The kind of like LSD mushroom. So yeah, lots of interesting natural, more than anything, pharmaceuticals, and then yeah, how people are kind of integrating them into their life. But really, yeah, we've got a cooking show, a very cool musical documentary, the sitcom, and then yeah, something a little bit more real there, that We the People, about how yeah, certainly helping out yeah, some of, again, if I've got kids, so a lot of the infant stories really spoke to me, because you would be willing to try just about anything, I think, if your child was to get ill. And yeah, it's like people are like, right, I'll give cannabis a go, because they think it's really something it isn't. And then yeah, and again with some of those people, I don't want to sort of ruin it too much, but yeah, they kind of have a journey to discover about this plant, and you sort of go along with it and realize just it's a great one for melting stigma down, for one, and just a great educational one, that one, really, because some of how the kind of real world uses of this thing sort of out and about there. I don't know if you guys stumbled across any of those ones already.
Yeah, I haven't typed it in, but they've come up on my my feed every once in a while. What I don't understand is you type in cannabis and they got a ball of crack cocaine in the middle of your screen there. What's that all about?
That one, I guess it's just the drugs business. That
okay.
That documentary is kind of just about
all right.
But yeah, that's right. Yeah, the key word being cannabis there. So that one did open up. You know, we've got crack, heroin. So yeah, it does, like I say. But this is, again, that kind of goes back to the point we made at the start. Cannabis, this wonderful and quite innocent plant, being grouped together with a lot more harder, kind of life-destroying, yeah, sort of really bad eggy type drugs that are out there. So yeah, I think the further we can keep sort of, again, melting stigma down, and just yeah, starting to classify it in our heads and the heads of the public, really, just in general terms, that it has got far more benefits than it's being given credit for, and far more benefits than really were being taken advantage of at the moment. So yeah, just some sort of interesting things that are yeah, really out there, kind of hidden. They don't I mean, like you say, I guess if you're kind of the sort of person, like I'm talking to my friends the other day about some of these cannabis things on Netflix. They had no idea, because they don't really search, you know, Netflix. They tend to just take what's delivered to them, like here, the new thing, you know. But actually, Netflix is packed with loads of really interesting documentaries and a lot of very cool programs around cannabis growing. Yeah, you know, weed people, mushroom people, really, just let's face it, people. You know, we're starting to branch out, you know, growing own foods, wild edibles, I mean, natural phytocannabinoids, dates, gojis, rowan berries. Do you know what I mean? We're all kind of yeah, we're all learning, and I think yeah, the more we can investigate more natural remedies, I think the better. Don't know about you, but I think pharma and big pharma have done quite a lot to, I don't know, maybe lose my trust, or certainly waver my trust in the last couple of years, when yeah, you kind of maybe see it is definitely more of a business than it is a platform for healing people, if you know what I mean, you know.
Yep, you got it.
Big one, yeah, it's a big one. Leaving it on the big. I'm gonna poke Big Pharma in the eye just before we end. Yeah. But really, it is. That's why. And you know, not to get too sort of conspiratorial or crazy in the end, but really, that's why there's been a kind of suppression of these and illegalities of this, is because it sort of fucks with other people's interests. And as we know, yeah, things in nature, there is not much patenting and therefore not much profit than can be made. So, you know, again, that's why we're not all driving around in water-powered cars, because, you know, that would be shit for the, you know, for a lot of people's bank accounts. Do you know what I mean? So
water-powered cars.
Yeah, well, hey, the water-powered cars, yeah, that's a great rabbit hole.
Ain't gonna make nothing, eh?
Look into those, man. Look into the 3 guys that have stumbled on that technology and how they're not around anymore. Yeah, final words on that one. I think that there's a funny news report. The guy's driving this, water-powered car, literally going like the fucking, converted his actual car to do it as well. That's how fucking easy it is. And I think the news report ends with, the Pentagon are showing some interest. You know what I mean? And then it's just, you never hear from the bloke ever again. Yeah, right. And I think his last words were, "The bastards killed me," or something like that. The bastard. Anyway, have a look at that. Sorry, getting lost in it now. But yeah, really a lot of suppression around this plant, a lot of demonizing of the plant, and yeah, now hopefully, yeah, the box is being opened and everyone is getting an opportunity to be sort of exposed to some of these things. And yeah, when you do find that it can hit you with that, you know, help you with different things. Like I say, THC is helping people with PTSD, which is one of those ones that's like a tormented life. Do you know what I mean? And really, you know, the idea of a joint or an edible or something like that can, you know, be freeing you to the point when you can live your life. You know, this is where we're talking about real results here. It's not, you know, a course of medication for, you know, months or years or endless chiropractor appointments. This is like you take it and it makes you feel better almost immediately. It can stop fits in children almost immediately on taking it, you know, within minutes. So yeah, lots more for the iGrow community and us guys to sort of delve into this week. But yeah, just show you a little bit of the some of the things to learn a little bit about cannabis in a very fun way, for one. And yeah, the cooking with cannabis is a really good one, because it's a great one for learning, again, types of things, oils, actual flour, and then really, how you then decarboxylate, put them in your food. Simple as making brownies in some cases, but some people are kicking out, you know, the pan-seared cod with the crust on a bed of couscous kind of thing, and that is your cannabis edible, which sort of seems like, you know, definitely, you know, very gummy. No, on a 3-course dinner, thanks. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, bong hit. No, I want my filet mignon, you know, infused, you know, whatever kind of thing. So, yeah.
Cordon bleu.
Yeah, some really cool stuff out there. So I don't know, guys. I guess we have had this one's the fucking bumper edition. Really, we're churning out so much. Bill, fantastic again. TED Talk level presentation from you about the anatomy of the cannabis plant, and really filled in so many gaps in my own knowledge that I'm sort of doing it, get an experimental new grower that I am. And yeah, once again, another fantastic presentation from you, Bob, about wild edibles and the date palm. And yeah, we should all be looking out for this. I think by springtime, if I haven't got a goji going, at least one goji and a date palm in a pot somewhere, I want you to call me up on that, because I think they'd sit in that in any tent, any companion in plant for cannabis. I think it would be a really good one. And yeah, satisfying to grow, satisfying plant.
I can't wait till you have it. I'm excited. I mean, it's gonna grow in a few years. It's gonna produce fruit. It's gonna like nourish you, your family. You want to give it to neighbors, like with cuttings. It just continues to grow. Just, you know, make your life better. I love it.
Yeah, that's right. The iGrow community, always moving on. So yeah, don't forget, iGrow listeners, iGrow viewers, do catch us on the iGrow.world website again for all the content. Get involved in the marketplace, get involved in the Grow Diaries there, actually become part of the community and what is now the discussion area as well. So yeah, that's igrow.world and sign up to be a member. As always, thank you, Bill and Bart, my co-hosts on this adventure, learning about growing. It's really absolutely information packed. And I guess I'll bid you farewell. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bart.
Thank
It's
you.
been a slice. Thank you.
And then, yeah, and that's right. Until next time, viewers, thanks very much for joining us on the iGrow podcast. Until next time. And I guess that's where we'd cut, Nico. And yeah, there's enough, let me tell you, there's gold in them hills. Seriously. Like, this is the great thing about giving him like 2.5 hours, because, you know, there's a very tight, you know, a tight 30 minutes on one subject, there's a tight 30 on another, you know, or even just like, you know, or if you're into it, you know, consume the whole thing. It's like so many good sound bites. Honestly, those first bit when you were talking about there were some good zingers.
I feel like he doesn't have to, like, we're getting better. He's not gonna have to cut as much. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at least we're doing it in the right order now, I suppose. So
yeah. Just another thing there, JT. You should probably change that name that says Mark Wires up there, because that'll.
I'm on his account, so yeah.
But you should be able to change the name, because people are going to be looking at you. It's going to say Mark Wires on the podcast, right? Or...
Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose so.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm using his Zoom account. That's how I'm in the Zoomies.
Let me see here.
So yeah, maybe I can change it. I don't know.
Rename. Right click on it and hit rename.
I can just do it per, like, okay, just like per episode. Dunno.
So yeah, you can rename it. It's not hard.
Okay, nice one. Actually, well spotted, Bill.
I don't know. I just figured.
I didn't know whether renaming it was going to possibly like mess with his account, but I guess based on the
you don't want them seeing Mark.
I can probably just do it in my corner. Well, there we go.
Yeah, there you go, JT. Fixed.
I just renamed myself Pi. It looks like the Pi signal.
The pie.
Is that Pi? I think that's actually, I never realised how much JT looks like Pi. Oh, okay. Anyway, all right. Well, look, amazing work, you guys. Cool. Yeah, that was a great one. So much friggin' so much in there. Brilliant.
It was fun.
Tell you what, I mean,
that was long. Yeah, that was a good one. We should probably try and limit it to like 45 minutes a person. I'll try and do better next time, because I don't know. That's a pretty long one.
No, it's okay. I think this is all great for our learning. This is like we know how we can take it too far. Now we know how to take it. Now we can learn from that. It's all phenomenal. It's great, right? Like I will tell you that I'm sort of seeing it as almost like bleh. Sorry guys. Okay, I'm almost seeing it like a season. Like this season we'll go through this. Maybe next season I'm probably gonna do all these all over again, but I'll make it like, you know, have more slides and kind of make it more interesting. So that's kind of why I see it in my learning too.
I've also been putting notes on the Microsoft 365 I think it switched it over to yeah, it's on Microsoft 365. Pretty sure it is. Hold on there. There's so much. I'm still learning this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like on one of the files. I have it like what I've talked about. So then I don't know, like how many, like you said, we can go over it again, obviously, once we have more knowledge, or once I have more knowledge.
There's still a meeting tomorrow, right?
I think so, yeah.
Wednesday meeting.
If
I don't like with the because what was Mark Wires was saying, he wants you to do podcasts with other people.
Yeah,
well, that's a lot of work, man. I'm just saying, like, we just spent.
I mean, hopefully I was trying to group. Yeah, the way he was saying with that is trying to get a few people together and maybe do a bit of a bunch of reps. But yeah, it's kind of hard to yeah, it's just hard because no one wants to sort of
Well, I think we need more of a platform. We need to build more of a platform to get to that level. Personally, that's my observation. But
I mean,
yeah,
I'm kind of collecting these followers and these companies on the Instagram, and yeah, I'm not doing a great deal with them, but as far as I'm concerned, it just means they're there and they're seeing the you know, they're actually seeing the stuff that's coming out, because mainly it is just my personal growth thing. But I'm just really hoping, because the best accounts start small like this, and there is a journey. You know, so if it changes, but yeah, I don't know, it's kind of okay talking with you guys, because I don't know, it's kind of comfortable, but I don't know, I don't know. It's like just ringing up a kind of rep and being like, I don't know. I could get them on and talk about their products, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to then swing it back round to growing. You know what I mean? Make it like high growing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you guys? Sorry. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
So this is the one drive where everything gets stored on. Am I right?